Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, on Ascension Day. And what better way to start Ascension Day than with some airplane ascensions to the skies. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. I'm standing alongside the Polderbaan, currently the only runway in use for departures. It is Thursday, May 18th. Goedemorgen, Cafe Spotter. Good morning and goedemorgen, Koenie. Hey there, I'm not dope. Studio Yaya, good morning, goedemorgen. FJWH, goedemorgen. Jens, goedemorgen, good morning. Hey there, Gabriella, good morning. The morning rush hour has begun. Victor, goedemorgen, good morning. And FJWH starts off with a question right away. What is your plan? Well, I don't know how long I'm going to stay here for, but I've only just begun. So, hopefully until the end of the morning at least. Boeing 737 from KLM on its way to Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Now, as you guys can see in the distance, it is a bit cloudy. It is said that the sun is going to come out later during the day. At the moment it is 8 degrees centigrade. Wind is blowing from the east. 8 degrees centigrade, approximately 46 degrees Fahrenheit is that. So this is to the north, the big picture. This is east. You can see it's more open if I turn around the camera to the south. This is facing west. Hey Frank, goedemorgen. Hope you guys are all doing well. It is still a bit chilly here, but it is lovely spring weather. Next up will be an A320 from EasyJet, outbound to Basel. Flight 21222. This airplane is 13 years old, had its first flight in December 2009. Hey there Malcolm, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Now Kuni was informing us that there's a 747 on the taxi. Nippon, excellent. We could do with some queens. At the moment, the current status is narrow bodies. Lufthansa on the threshold. Our favorite chocolate livery, Leysieffer Chocolaterie, is also going to depart. Another Embraer. Hey Gosse, goedemorgen. Alles goed, jongen? Now there is a little bit of wind. Where is it? There we go. Also see the bird controller in the distance. The Leysieffer Chocolaterie, German Airways Embraer 190. A frequent visitor of the stream. Now visibility is good. You guys can see the clouds that are there are relatively high up. Ja, gaat lekker hoor, Gosse. Next up, another Embraer 190, this one from KLM, outbound to Nuremberg. Not too heavily loaded, didn't need a lot of runway length to take off. Steep climb. Hey there's Sumo Burger, good morning or good evening. Right, let's have a look what is up next. Nothing at the threshold, so this is going to be the next airplane. Looks like KLM flight 1421, Boeing 737-800, outbound to Birmingham. This airplane is 4 years old. Hey, and what is that in the background? The first queen. Hey Wilma, goedemorgen. Morgen. Alles goed hoor, met jou ook? So, heavies time is going to be soon. First up, we have this little creature going to Birmingham. Hey there, good morning. Andrew Golddog. Eddie, goedemorgen. Alles goed in Almere? Now look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Nippon Cargo 737-800 taxiing to the runway threshold, and it is being followed by an A350 from Delta. Now this is Nippon Cargo Airlines flight 51 outbound to Milan. This airplane is 9 years old already, had its first flight in April 2014. The Delta A350-900 behind it is going to go to Detroit. And the A350 is 5 years old already, had its first flight in December 2017. Wow, also a steep climb. Now of course Milan, for a big jumbo like this, nearby destination, so it doesn't need a lot of fuel. Probably also not very heavily loaded. Hey Lane and Dennis, good morning, goedemorgen. Just in time for the Queen, indeed. And following the Queen, an A350. Delta Airlines, outbound Detroit. And there it goes. Hey Remco, goedemorgen. Good morning, Jerry. Awesome. Whose dad took him to San Francisco to see the very first 747. And Jerry, thank you so much for your super chat. Very good morning to you all. Peter, good morning. Elske, goedemorgen, good morning. It is an early bird stream this day. The early bird catches the worm is what they say, and I don't necessarily want to catch worms, but if we can catch some early departures, some early ascensions on Ascension Day, that would be great. For those of you just joining me, good morning. This is AMS Live you're watching. My name is Boy. I'm standing alongside the Polderbaan, currently the only runway in use for departures. It is A bit chilly still, 8 degrees centigrade or approximately 46 degrees Fahrenheit. It is still somewhat cloudy, although it is said that later during the day the sun is going to come out more. The highs of today are set to be around 15 degrees centigrade, so that is approximately 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It is set to become warmer again over the weekend with 20 degrees or 70 degrees Fahrenheit later in the weekend. Hey there Kadir, goedemorgen. Ewald, goedemorgen, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well on this Ascension day. Now, taxiing to the threshold is an Embraer 190 from KLM City Hopper flight 1329 outbound to Aalborg. And that is an 11-year-old airplane that had its first flight in January 2012. Now it seems that the airplane following it is also going to go to the runway threshold, so Hey Richard, goedemorgen. Congratulate all the Feyenoorders in the chat with their championship. Well, gefeliciteerd all Feyenoord fans. Great party you guys have had over the weekend and on Monday. Hey Lisa, good morning, goedemorgen. Now the wind is coming from the east on average. It is a bit variable in direction, but mostly from the east, so that means that there is a little bit of crosswind from the right for the airplanes taking off right now. The wind is not blowing very hard. If I show you guys the water, you can still mostly see the reflections of the clouds. And this would be an Embraer 190 that is going to go to Billund. Hey there Peter P, Jean-Yves, good morning. Oh, that's awesome, Jerry. When your dad is a policeman and has has special access to all those new airplanes coming out. I bet you could see them up close real good. What a tremendous sight that must have been to see the first 747 back in the day, when most jets were significantly smaller still. What was the biggest airplane at the time before the introduction of the 747? Did the 767 already exist, or was that maybe Was it still the Boeing 707? Just wondering what was the biggest airplane before the introduction of the 747. 707, okay. Well, and the 747 of course being a significantly bit bigger. Alright, so Jerry already mentioned the ducks. I do see some birds in the water a bit further downstream or upstream, depending on how you look at it. Now, in the meantime, since I've been here for the last time, the grass over here in the water side has also grown a significant portion, hindering the picture somewhat. I think those are some quackers, and looks like there are also a couple of lady ducks in the distance, getting chased away or scared away. There's no bird controller in the vicinity, so I don't know what caused the scare. At the moment we will have to wait for new traffic to come this way. Let me also have a look on flight radar. It seems like there is an Embraer 175 underway. And Andy, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. And Wilma didn't learn anything about planes from her dad, but has in the meantime made up for that. Never too late to learn new things, right? And Josegi asks, who owns those ducks? Well, they are government property. I think that our Prime Minister is responsible for duck welfare himself, one of his special departments. Hey Frans, goedemorgen. Indeed, being an early bird today, wanted to make use of the day. Figured I'd go streaming early, maybe until the end of the morning, beginning of the afternoon. And maybe go for a walk or something like that later today. It is set to become better weather, and as I am saying this, the sun is starting to come out over here a little bit from behind the clouds. Don't know if you guys can see it. Just a little bit. Now on ground level the wind is coming from the east on average. I'm hoping that the wind is coming from the south more on higher levels, which will mean that these open skies will also come to where the sun is at, which will mean it's going to open up a little bit. Embraer 175 outbound to Bergen. Now the downside of being here on this location so early is that the sun is still not very high in the sky and also still in the east, which means that there is a bit of backlight casting a shade over the airplanes as they pass us by. It always looks more severe on my camera screen than it does when I look back the stream afterwards. Now, it seems that there is a little bit of slowing down at the moment. Let me also check. Doesn't look like 36 center is open. It was open for departures earlier. We had parallel departures taking place. At the moment, looks like still yeah. Ashok, sorry mate, we are not going to look at Bible apps. Bye bye. Thanks for mentioning it. That problem has been resolved. And yes, Kuni, I think the mods are still sleeping. Bear in mind that 2 of my mods are in the UK, so it's really early still there. One of them is in the United States. She's probably still sound asleep. And Infinity is in the Netherlands, but probably also still doing something else, which is perfectly fine. Thanks for mentioning it, guys. Of course, I can also do some modding, especially when it's a bit quiet, like now. So the next traffic is trickling towards the runway. First up is going to be an Embraer 175 from KLM outbound to Bremen. It looks like there's another Embraer 190 to Newcastle coming after that. There's also an A321 Neo from EasyJet on the move. And Josegi is watching from Mombasa. Wow. How's life over there in Mombasa, Josegi? And Ewald is wondering if there are still 747 passenger planes flying. Well, there are. I know that at least Lufthansa operates the 747-800 for passengers. And if I'm not mistaken, Korean Air, but I'm not fully sure about that. There are others as well. Hey, buongiorno Luca, come stai? Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Richard die wil graag dat ik mijn gezicht een keer laat zien. Well, if you insist, I am wearing my hoodie. And also having my hoodie over my cap because it is a little bit chilly still. So it keeps my neck warm. Tomo confirming that Korean is also operating the 747 for passengers. And Singapore as well, says Jerry. So there you go. There are still airliners who operate the 747 for passengers, but it's becoming ever more a rarity these days. Hey Joseph, good morning. Checking in from Abu Dhabi. Is it still morning there? What's the time difference? 3, 4 hours? Don't know exactly. Anyway, this is an Embraer 175, KLM flight 1753 outbound to Bremen. This is a 6-year-old plane, first flight January 2017. Embraer 190 outbound to Newcastle. they do come back to back, or when they do come to the runway, they don't wait unnecessarily. Back to back action. And Jens is asking if I am also going to be streaming tomorrow or Saturday. I do plan to go out in the next couple of days, weather permitting, and I think the weather will permit it. So don't know yet what time I'm going to go out, but I do intend to go out again tomorrow and also on a Saturday. And Chris is checking in from Lincoln in England. Good morning, Chris, and thank you for your kind words. Good to see you, hope you're doing well. Now Tomo says that Korean will retire them in the future, the 747s. Lufthansa will keep them. And indeed, Lufti also flies the A340, 300 and 600, also very rare. Now I'm wondering which one is longer. Is the A340 600 longer or is the 747 800 longer? Because both are, those are the two longest airplanes I think that are currently flying. And I'm just wondering which one is the longest of the two. They are close in terms of their length. And thanks, Frank, for the remark. Cool clothes. If you would be interested, there is also a merch shop these days in the channel. The hoodie that I'm wearing is a premium hoodie in charcoal color. Keeps me nice and warm. So this is an A321neo from EasyJet, outbound to Milan. This airplane, 3 years old, first flight December 2019. EasyJet flight 23852. They always make good sounds, those Neos. Now, next up is going to be a 777. Taxiing to the runway threshold, KLM flight 713 outbound to Paramaribo. This is a 777-300ER, 10 years old, first flight May 2012. And thank you, Wilma. It's something I don't promote very much because I think other than me there is probably not going to be a lot of interest for AMS Live clothing or mugs or anything, but I figured if maybe somebody is interested or may have children or grandchildren who might be interested, it is something that is perhaps nice to give as a gift, but mostly just a means for me to promote the channel whenever I'm out at Schiphol. Will the bird controller overtake the 777? Probably not. Although they did seem to, well, yeah, still trying. I think the bird controller will always lose from the GE90s. Malcolm asks if I ever show evening flights. Well, I have tried streaming once during twilight, but as it gets dark, especially when I'm over here where there are also not a lot of lights on the airfield itself, my camera does struggle with focusing on stuff. I have thought about maybe once going out to Kaagbaan and see what I can do with my camera over there. You're closer to the main platform area where of course there's also more illumination, so maybe it's easier to get things in focus over there. But my camera is not very well suited for low light conditions, unfortunately. I think the sensor is maybe a bit too small for that. In the meantime, a KLM Boeing 737-700 taking off to Berlin. And looking around me, more is coming. There's a KLM City Hopper lined up already, and Joseph sending a super sticker, per character bowing down saying thank you. Well, thank you so much, Joseph, for your kind donation and your kind super sticker. I really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Hey there, Larry, good morning. Hope you're doing well, mate. Michael Jackson, good morning. Good to see you again. Welcome, everybody. For those of you tuning in just now, we are over at the Polderbaan. Currently the only runway in use for departures, and what better way to start Ascension Day than with ascensions from airplanes. At the moment it is still a bit chilly over here, 8 degrees centigrade or approximately 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Looking to the north, which is in this direction, you can see that it is still mostly overcast. If I turn around the camera to the west, the east, it is looking a bit brighter. To the south, things appear to be more open. Wind is blowing from the east on average. It is a bit variable, but it's varying around the east. Hey there, Ralph and Sander and Wendy. Goedemorgen, good morning to you all. Bogdan, good morning. And Sander says that in Katwijk it is pretty sunny. That's not too far away from here. KLM skipping the line. Hey there, Steven, Oskam, goedemorgen, good morning. Erik, goedemorgen. Sebastian, good morning. Hey there, Peter, good morning. Rosalie, good morning. Checking in from Minneapolis. Hope things are well over there. Now, the next plane, Delta A330, is already spooling up. No time to waste here. Come on, focus. Delta Airlines outbound to Atlanta. Don't even have time to look at all the details in flight radar. It is back-to-back action over here at the moment. Boulderbaan currently the only runway in use for departures, so everything that is taking off is coming to this runway. Hey there, good morning Paula. Glenn Chambers, goedemorgen. Goedemorgen. Paula is tuning in from Santiago de Chile, where hopefully it is less chilly than it is over here. It is still 8 degrees centigrade. My hands are getting a bit cold actually. Did not expect to say that somewhere in mid-May. Lined up right now, A319 EasyJet flight 22512 outbound to London Luton. This is a 15-year-old airplane, first flight March 2008. But exactly. More champagne for Jerry. That sounds like a very good way to start Ascension Day. Champagne, beer and sausages. What a life you're living, mate. Salut Fabrice, comment ça va? Ici est Schiphol Airport. No time to waste. We have another shortcutter. 737-900 outbound to Barcelona. Hey there, Blackbirds 1999. I was about to say 1999. Thank you for your kind words, and hope the dialysis is going alright. Yeah, Sander, as a resident of Lisse, I know very well when the Kaagbaan is open for arrivals, it gets busy over in our neighborhood. I actually could do a live stream from my rooftop terrace when there is incoming traffic to Kaagbaan. You can see them really up close. That of course is also true for people living in Katwijk. That's a good question, Clan. I have no idea when they are going to be taking, when they are getting their Airbuses. If anybody knows, do let us know. Now, these airplanes are also still getting used because of ongoing problems of the E2 Embraer 195s with their engines. The Embraer 190s have to stay in use for longer. Plus KLM even has to lease or rent airplanes from other airline companies. I think that the Chocolaterie Embraer 190 is one of their rentals. Here's another Embraer 190 outbound to London City. "3 hours having to sit in the chair," says Blackbirds. Well, hopefully time will pass a bit quicker with a live stream like this on. We are awaiting the next two airplanes. You can see them in the distance. In the meantime, let me zoom out a little bit and also try to warm up my hands a little. EasyJet A319 and a KLM Embraer 190. Let's see where they are going to. EasyJet is going to the threshold. And in Hoogmade you can definitely see the airplanes going to Kaagbaan very well as well. Atlas 747, always a very beautiful airplane to look at, even if it is from a distance. Two airplanes taxiing to the runway threshold. The first one is an Airbus A319 from EasyJet outbound to London Gatwick. The airplane is 15 years old, first flight March 2008, and the Embraer behind it, KLM flight 1739, outbound to Luxembourg, 9 years old, first flight November 2013. Now if you guys are new to the channel but you're liking what you're seeing, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. It helps me tremendously to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this. It also allows you the opportunity to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future you receive a heads up and can join us if you have enough time and are feeling like it, for more bustling action from Schiphol. Steven says that Jake 11 is now passing over Lisse. Unfortunately, it is still very much clouded over here, so even traffic flying overhead is hard to see from over here right now. You do see the military airplanes every now and then going from the UK to the east of Europe or back again. I've seen it before several times already. Of course, with the current geopolitical situation going on in that area of the world, you do see more military aircraft on flight radar these days. Hey Martin, goedemorgen, good morning. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you again. Lined up at the threshold, the Embraer 190 outbound to Luxembourg, and following it are a 737-800 to Budapest and another Embraer that is going to go to Toulouse. Now I do see some waves being formed over here in the water. I think there is a quacker, but he or she is hiding from sight. And because the grass is overgrowing a little bit, it's hard for me to see what is causing the waves. For those of you tuning in later, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, runway 36 left, currently in use as the only runway for departures, and it was a coot that was causing the waves. Going under immediately as soon as I point the camera to it. They are a bit camera shy. Maybe they need some media training. Embraer 190 outbound to Toulouse. At the moment it is approximately 8 degrees Celsius over here, which is approximately 46 degrees Fahrenheit. These airplanes take off in northerly direction. The wind is blowing on average from the east, not too hard, but there is a little bit of wind. You can see by the smoke, and also the windmills are spinning. And looking in that direction, I can also see the daily firefighter patrol taking off. So they will go around the Polderbaan. They head into northern direction first, then they will go around the northern threshold and come back on this side. So we will see them in a few minutes, and they are probably going to wave, and if I wave back they will probably sound their horn as well. The daily round of the Schiphol firefighters, or at least the Polderbaan firefighters. At the moment I don't see any traffic immediately coming this way. Gives us a good chance to follow the airplane a little bit longer and also zoom in on the firefighters once they come this way, if there still is no further traffic coming this way. In the meantime, good morning to Doors Player and good morning to Sharon. Is that how you pronounce your first name? Bailey, who is checking in from Ireland. Good morning to you. Josh Elkins, good morning. Now let's see, where are the firefighters? They are probably behind the red and white boxes. Oh no, they are further up already. There they go. So you'll see them head out to the north first on the east side of the runway, then they'll turn around, go around the northern threshold, come back south again on the west side of the runway. Take a little detour over there. Thank you so much, Luca, for a warm drink while streaming. Well, now that you mention it, let me also take a sip of coffee. I did bring along a thermos with some coffee. Now the firefighters Still going north. The runway is actually quite long. Oh, and now I see that there's also a plane departing from 36 Center, so it seems that they have also opened that one up. Let me double check the runway usage app. Yeah, so Cargobahn is now the only runway in use for arrivals, and 36 Center has also opened for departures, which means that not all outbound traffic will be coming to this runway anymore. Now, later during the morning, between 10 and 12, you typically see the departures. The heavies go out to the United States and South America and Canada and stuff. They have to go to the west, so it's often the case that these airplanes take off from Polderbaan even if there are parallel departures taking place. Where are the firefighters? Huh. Is that them? Hard to see on my small... Ah, yeah, that's them. Hey Jacobus, good evening. Checking in from Perth in Australia. So as we are awaiting next traffic to come to the Polderbaan, we are seeing the arrival of the 3 big firefighter vehicles that are doing their daily round. Peter P says the firefighters stopped at McDonald's. Unfortunately, there's no McDonald's in that vicinity. You have to be next to runway 0927, but it would be nice though if they had a restaurant of sorts over here. At the moment, looking at the Spottersplaats, you can see it is still very much empty. Now on sunny nice days and on weekend days you will see some mobile fish and chip shop and ice cream shops. It's still early. I'm expecting that they might come later today. Massive vehicles. And thank you for your kind words, Fabrice. Although I'm not very fluent in French, I do understand what you were saying there. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. And indeed, zuinig toetertjes, says Koenie. Not too generous in their honking. I think I'm probably at the moment the only person who is silly enough to be out next to the runway already. But if they see people and and you wave at them, they will always wave back and always sound the horn. Really lovely. Now we're waiting for the next traffic to come this way. In the meantime, there's an E2 Embraer 195 that has taken off. From 36 center. One of the E2 Embraer 195s that doesn't have issues with the engines. At least not now. Hardly hear it. They are really quiet, those E2 Embraers. Same goes for the A220s. All those geared turbofan engined airplanes are really quiet when they do work. And indeed, Sander, I did see it already, a 737-800 outbound to Porto from KLM coming this way. We're still awaiting its arrival. So in the meantime, let's look at another 737-800 that is going to Lisbon. That is the upside of 36 center being open again when there are parallel departures or arrivals and you are standing next to the Polderbaan. You can decently see what is going on over there from over here. And Jacobus, if you want to hear ATC, you can listen to it on liveatc.net. It's not something that I intend to incorporate in my live streams. A bit busy, so if you prefer listening to it, that's of course up to you. But I don't intend to incorporate it in my live streams. I'm not sure also if it is allowed to do that over here in the Netherlands. I think there might also be some rules about publicly using data like that. Fresh Douwe Egberts, always good, Frank. Wilma too. I think it is the brand that almost all Dutchies drink, or at least a lot of them. Now the 737 is forgoing the entrance to the runway over here, where I'm standing in line with. Okay, in the US you can use ATC for your broadcasts. I'm not sure about the rules over here. But even if it was allowed, I think it is a bit distracting. I mean, it's nice to listen to it, but I leave people the choice to listen to it on their own, so that people who don't want to hear ATC don't have to hear ATC. It's always easier that you can, well, if you're sitting at home behind the computer, you can always log into liveatc.net and turn it on yourself. Then when I incorporate it, and some people like it and others prefer not to hear ATC, then you cannot get rid of the ATC, of course. for those people. So 737-800 outbound to Porto, KLM flight 1711. The airplane you're seeing is 24 years old, had its first flight in April 1999. Hey Gustav, good morning. In Denmark it is sunny. Well, unfortunately it seems that over here it is getting more clouded. I had hopes that the more clear sky we saw earlier in the south would be coming this way, but it seems like the wind is blowing in the opposite direction in higher levels, because now looking to the south you can see that it is starting to get more clouded and more overcast. So if the sun is going to come out today, it's probably not going to be in the upcoming hours, as the 737 is waiting to get clearance to go. We can also see that the firefighters are apparently testing their equipment. As I'm saying that, the 737 is spooling up. So let's capture it once it passes by over here. A lot of strength behind those water cannons. A lot of force. And yeah, Han, I agree. I think ATC is publicly accessible via liveatc.net, so people who want to hear ATC can choose to do so, but people who prefer not to hear ATC don't have to listen to it, and the people who want to listen to it can opt to listen to it via liveatc.net. So exactly. Hey Remco, goedemorgen. And Thomas says that in Groningen it is sunny. Well, do blow some sunshine over here to the southwest, or at least relative southwest compared to Groningen. Over here still, well, let me show you guys the big picture. So this is to the east. This is to the north. This is currently what I'm looking at if I'm looking to the south. And this would be to the west. And an Embraer 190 to Hanover taking off from 36 center, and there's an Embraer 192 Leeds by the looks of it coming over here in a few moments. You can see the Embraer coming already. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen. Maarn staat ook in het zonnetje. Wow. Lucky for you guys over there. Over here it is still a bit more cloudy, but who knows what the rest of the day is going to bring. It is still early, of course. Now, at the moment there are two Embraer 190s coming this way. One a bit closer by, the other still a bit further out, just turning around the corner to come this way. Probably visible if I pan to the right a little, yep. Let's see if the Embraer is going to take off from the entrance right in front of us or if it's also going to go to the runway threshold. It's coming this way, excellent. Always a nice shot, this. KLM flight 1451, Embraer 190 outbound to Leeds. This is a 13-year-old Embraer, first flight June 2009. Now you can see that the sun is trying to get out from behind the clouds, and on occasion it succeeds. There's also a little moment that the sun was starting to come out over here. Now we get another look into the cockpit shot. The second Embraer also coming this way, Embraer 190 outbound to Trondheim, KLM flight 1173. This airplane, 11 years old, first flight January 2012. Hey there Karim, and hey there Steve J. Good morning to you both. Hope you both are doing well. Welcome to everybody who has joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. Currently one of the two runways in use for departures. There are parallel departures taking place from 36 left and 36 center. So these airplanes are taking off to the north. At the moment the general direction of the wind is coming from the east. Only a few knots, not too hard. It's about 8 or 9 degrees centigrade at the moment, so that is 46 or so degrees Fahrenheit. Still mostly overcast here, although the sun is trying to get out from behind the clouds and occasionally succeeding. It's dry, no precipitation in the forecasts for the upcoming day. And it is possible, Luca, to stream from the panorama terrace. Good question, Lars. Are you having periodic audio dropouts, and is that something that other people are also experiencing? I thought I had things figured out, but everything seems to be working in order on my end over here. Hey there, Daniel. Good morning. Now let's see. Okay, Wendy says no problem with the sound here. Steven says everything fine here. Leave it to maybe Lars. It is on your end. What happened? What helped when people were having buffering issues or other issues was to refresh the page of the stream. That often took care of the issues people were experiencing. No sound problem, excellent. Yeah, I listened back to the stream that I did, was it on Monday? Yeah, I think it was on Monday. And after changing the frequency of the modem, I was very thrilled with the sound quality of the voiceover audio last Monday. Really crisp all the way throughout, the way it should be. Really thrilled with that. Hopefully, well, everybody here, most of the people, almost everybody is reporting no sound issues, so it's probably then a local issue. And what often helps is to refresh the page, at least when people were reporting buffering issues. That seemed to do the trick. Hopefully it will do the same for your sound problems, Lars. And indeed, there is another Embraer 190 on its way, Sander. Outbound to London City, KLM flight 987. The countdown flight number. Just about visible in the center of the screen. And it is a 9-year-old airplane. Had its first flight in January 2014. Hopefully restarting will fix the issue, Lars. Do let us know. Now looking a bit further out to the main platform area on flight radar, there are a few heavies that have become alive, that have come alive. So I think it won't be long before we're going to see the heavies that are going to the United States, etc., also coming this way. For now we'll have to make do with the Embraer 190 outbound to London City that is coming this way right now. Hopefully it's going to take off from the earlier entrance to the runway and not go all the way back to the runway threshold. I specifically set up at this location so that when they do use that entrance, and it looks like this one is going to do that as well, you get this shot. Really fond of it. Hey Marissa, goedemorgen. Alles goed? Now next up, 737, is it going to come this way? It is coming this way. And in the meantime, Dennis, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge and thank you for your support. I am a bit cold, Marissa. It is actually a bit chilly over here. I have to try to keep my hands warm so that the tracking of the airplanes does not become too uneven. But other than that, I'm doing really well. (737) outbound to Oslo. Alright, Luca, thank you so much for joining once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon. Three airplanes underway. One is already going to the runway threshold, Aer Lingus. Let me also make a small adjustment to my panhandle to facilitate what I hope will be even smoother following. Aer Lingus A320 outbound to Cork. This airplane is 18 years old. First flight was in March 2005. Hey there, Ian, good morning, checking in from Birmingham. Hopefully the weather is better over there than it is over here. Over here still overcast and a bit chilly. And Sander asked if I'm streaming via a phone. No, I'm using a wireless router dedicated for streaming, using my laptop. Another KLM Embraer 175. If you're liking Embraer 175s, you're in luck because there is another one lining up at the runway threshold. This would be KLM flight 1485 outbound to Humberside. 6-year-old airplane, had its first flight in May 2017. And Ian says that it is sunny over there in Birmingham. It is set to become more sunny as the day progresses, but for now we'll have to make do with the mostly overcast conditions, although as I'm saying this, the sun is starting to get out from behind the clouds for a moment over here. Mr. Quack, Donald, our good friend Donald, also sitting over here. Well, Marissa, it's been short but sweet. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day and have fun at the flower market. Hey Mats, goedemorgen, good morning. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Now, if you're fond of Embraers and KLM Embraers particularly, you are in luck because there is another Embraer 175 underway. Is it going to come this way or is it going to go to the threshold? It's going to come this way by the looks of it. And the 737 is following it. KLM flight 1207 is what we are looking at. Embraer 175 outbound to Kristiansand. This airplane 6 years old, first flight September 2016. Hey there, Kirsten. How's life in Moheim? And there is apparently a 777 coming this way. Excellent. We could do with some more heavies. First up is a 737-800 from KLM, flight 1127, outbound to Copenhagen in Denmark. This airplane is 22 years old and had its first flight in May 2000. Good morning, Mol. Goedemorgen. Hope you're doing well. Now folks, if you're new to the channel but you're liking what you're seeing, do consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, you receive a heads up and can join us for more bustling action at Schiphol Airport. And it also helps me greatly to reach more people like you and me who are also into aviation live streaming content such as this. Hey, thanks for your kind words, Ian. Really appreciate it. So as the 737 takes to the sky, and what is this? Let me look at my laptop. Another few quackies. Now Donald is still chilling over here. There's also his nephew over there. Now I don't know if it's Huey, Dewey or Louie, but it is a relative of the Donald. While we are looking at Donald, I'm also having a look on flight radar. And there are some planes underway. The first one is going to be a 777-200 from United in the Star Alliance livery, going to New York. 13 years old. The 777 we're about to see had its first flight in April 2010. I think Donald was just confirming what Leon was mentioning, that he looks like he had a rough night. I think he just quacked to confirm exactly that. Boeing 7879 says that in 20 minutes there will be a 747 freighter from China. Excellent. We could do with a few heavies. I think we're going to see more of them in the upcoming hour. It's only 10 AM over here still. And J Bell says that the brown-headed duck is called a pochard, if I somewhat pronounced that properly. Now he has swum out of the picture. Don't see it anymore at the moment. I do see something else. What's that? Let me also look on my laptop screen where I can see things better. Well, I've said it several times before, I'm not a bird expert, so I have no idea what we are looking at right now. And RF, I am thinking about going out on Sunday, although I'm not sure yet. And if I am going to go out, I don't know exactly what time yet, and if I'm going to do inbound or outbound traffic. What time will you be flying? Ah, Grutto. Snip, Grutto, okay. It is a bird of some sorts. That is something that's the only thing I know for sure. Grutto, snip, snipe, snap, snap. It was hard to see. With the grass being high and with its camouflage colors. See that there's still still some discussion about what kind of bird it now actually was. Now this bird is a 777-200. That I can tell you with a high degree of certainty. And again, this is a 13-year-old airplane, had its first flight in April 2010, outbound to New York. EWR, what was that again? Not LaGuardia, is it? Or the other one? Newark, that was it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Karsten. Had trouble coming up with the name, but it was LaGuardia. Newark. Exactly. Hey there, Patch. Checking in from Auckland, New Zealand. Good morning, is it? What time is it over there? Probably evening, isn't it? Oh, so it was Newark, okay. I'm always a bit confused. I know that JFK is JFK. That is the easy one to remember. And thank you, Ian, for your remark there. I do my best to make the camera work as smooth and as best I can. It's getting a bit harder because actually my hands are getting a bit stiff because of the temperature and the wind currently blowing. Did not expect that I would be saying that mid-May. Right, so where I'm standing now, the sun is out for as long as it's going to last. And Ian, no, I don't have any gloves handy. Not with me at least. I do have them back at home. It's also the lower arms that the forearms that get cold, where of course the muscles are located to operate the fingers. So if they get cold, your hands also get stiff automatically, or stiffer at least. But we'll work it out. Alright, so there is another slew of airplanes coming this way, including a 787-10 to San Francisco by the looks of it. I'm thinking maybe 36 left is the only runway in use for departures again. Let me double check that in a moment. Hey Rick, goedemorgen. Early bird catches the worm, you know what they say. And what better way to start Ascension Day than with a couple of Ascensions. Now, The website that shows the current runway usage still says that 36 Center is also open, but looking on the radar, on flight radar, it looks like everything is coming this way. So it's going to get busy, ladies and gentlemen. We are also expecting a couple of heavies in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. This is the place to be. Morning rush hour seems to have begun, and it looks like at the moment everything is coming this way again. So if you just tuned in, welcome to the show. My name is Boy, you're watching AMS Live. We are standing next to the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. When we began with the stream, it was the only runway in use for departures. Then for a moment we had parallel departures with 36 Center also being open, and now it looks like this is once again the only runway in use for departures. Wind is blowing from the northeast approximately. It does seem to have picked up a little bit over the last half hour or so. Still not storm or anything. Temperatures in the low single digits in centigrade or mid 40s Fahrenheit. These airplanes take off to the north, which means that there is a little bit of crosswind from the right. Airbus 320 Embraer 320 Airbus 320 outbound to Bristol. This airplane 7 years old, first flight March 2016. Hey Yorkshire, good morning. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Lined up right now, Embraer 190, KLM flight 605, outbound. No, sorry, that's the next one. The labels of flight radar are overlapping a little bit. Right, jumper, Embraer 190 outbound to Stavanger. Lined up at the threshold is the Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner KLM flight 605 outbound to San Francisco. This Dreamliner 3 years old, first flight January 2020. Hey Ralf, goedemorgen. Kotigoroshko Studios, goedemorgen. Stephen informed us that there is an Atlas Queen also rolling, so excellent news. Bring on the big planes. Hey Paul, good morning. Good to see you again, mate. Hope you're doing well. Ascensions on Ascension Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw a Dreamliner and we're going to see another Dreamliner. Lined up is its smaller sibling, the 7879 KLM flight 661 outbound to Houston, Texas. This airplane 5 years old, first flight August 2017. Good morning Dirk and good morning Francis, and thank you for the feedback, Francis. First class audio today, great sounds of the screaming engines. Hopefully the voiceover is also better than it was a couple of streams ago. Changing the frequency settings on my modem probably got rid of some interference that I was experiencing with the wireless DJI mic that I use for voiceover and with my wireless modem signal. Both were initially transmitting and receiving data on 2.4 gigahertz, and the DJI mic you cannot change the frequency of, but you can change the frequency of the modem, so the modem is now transmitting and receiving data on 5 gigahertz. Hopefully that means that the stream is better in terms of no more buffering issues, and also the voiceover sounding way better than it did before. Lined up, Air Baltic A220 to Tallinn. She's 5 years old, first flight November 2017. And thanks for the feedback, Jana Lee, who says that voiceover is top. Excellent. Took half a year almost, but I think I might have finally gotten rid of some kinks in the cable that I was experiencing earlier. Upgraded the mic, upgraded the tripod. And then something as simple as changing the frequency on the modem. So it's now a matter of don't touch anything, don't change anything, keep it the way it is. Now, if I recall correctly, I had a look yesterday evening on the list of departures for this morning. If I'm not mistaken, there's also an Air Baltic in the Latvian flag special livery going to depart this morning. I did use it as a thumbnail not too long ago when it took off from the Kaagbaan. Very pretty airplane. I think that might also be coming later this morning. Hey Joppie Joppie, goedemorgen. Sampon, good morning. How's life in Poland? In the meantime, we are looking at KLM flight 747, which is a 7879. It is going to go to Bogota in Colombia. This airplane 4 years old, first flight August 2018. Exactly, rubbing the hands, keeping my hands in my jeans pockets on moments like this. Maybe even do a few jumping jacks just to get the blood flowing again. You are of course standing still most of the time, and if it is sunny and they're warm, that's perfectly fine. But you do, if you're susceptible for it like I am, you do get cold hands still quite easily in the morning hours like these. Dreamliner is going to the runway threshold, looking at flight radar. Boeing 747, the second queen of the day, will be number 2. And there's another A220 from Air Baltic coming. Aer Lingus, 777 Lima. I think the heavies are also going to come more frequently now. Meanwhile, good morning Livia, checking in from Hungary. And thanks for the remark, Matthijs. The lows are definitely better with the Sennheiser MKE 600 that has now replaced the crackling under windy conditions Rode video mic go-to. Of course, different category of shotgun mic. Leo already has to go. It's been a pleasure to have you on the stream, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Ascension day. And hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Peter PDK, good morning. Dave A010, goedemorgen, good morning. Samuel, good morning. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. In the meantime, everybody who has tuned in the meantime, welcome to AMS Live. Welcome to each and everyone. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside the Polderbaan runway 36 left. Currently the only runway in use for departures by the looks of it. And this is the second queen of the day. We already had Nippon Cargo Airlines, a 747-800 earlier. Next up is going to be Atlas Air. Although the moniker is MPH, isn't that the old Martin Air? Oh, and they do still use 36 Center by the looks of it. Indeed, 36 Center still open. This airplane is going to Miami, 747-400, 24 years old, first flight April 1999. Four planes are behind it. This A220 from Air Baltic outbound to Riga. Now it's likely that it's going to go ahead and will be taking the entrance to the runway over here. Cutting in line before the 747, which is still taxiing to the runway threshold as we speak. So Air Baltic, flight 618, Airbus A220 outbound to Riga. This airplane 1 year old, first flight May 2022. So it is a year old exactly. And behind it is also an airplane cutting short, A320 Aer Lingus to Dublin. Meanwhile, Shamrock 603, A320 to Dublin, lined up and ready to go. She's 18 years old, first flight June 2004. Enjoy your breakfast, Frank. Eet smakelijk. And all other people who have meanwhile been eating their breakfast, bon appetit. British Airways Speedbird on its way to London Sea at Prayer 192. Right, back to the Queen. So, Atlas Air, Boeing 747-400, outbound to Miami, 24 years old, first flight April 1999. I am indeed early, Peter. The early bird catches the word. Catches the worm, catches the word. Ascensions on Ascension Day. What better way to start the day? Now behind the 747 is a 777. Bird is the word, exactly. But first this Queen. Hey Jannes, good morning. How's life over there in Athens? Hey Gerard, goedemorgen. Kaliland, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. So at the moment there are parallel departures taking place from 36 left, where we are standing next to, and 36 center. Departures to the north, the prevailing wind is on average coming from the east, northeast. Little bit of crosswind from the right for the airplanes now taking off. At the moment the sun is creeping out from behind the clouds. It has been mostly overcast this morning so far. Still a bit chilly. At the moment we are looking at KLM flight 743. It is a 777-300 ER, 5 years old. First flight September 2017. Alright Ian, if you're still around, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for being on the stream today and hope to see you again soon, mate. Thanks for your kind words, Steve J. Really nice of you to say that. Thank you so much. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, do consider subscribing to the channel. Not only does it greatly help me to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this, it also enables you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live you get a heads up and can join us once again for more action over here at Schiphol Airport. KLM flight 751, 777-200 outbound to Quito, 18 years old, first flight September 2004. The best tune in the industry, if you ask me, the GE90s on the 777. Okay, so it is back-to-back heavies for the time being. Lining up at the moment is American Airlines. Flight 221, Boeing 7878 Dreamliner outbound to Dallas, Texas. This Dreamliner, 1 year old, first flight June 2021. Boom, there is the flex. The trademark Dreamliner flex in the wings, beautiful. You can see there is a little bit of crosswind from the right. Wind has picked up a little bit over the last hour or so compared to when I was setting up over here. Still not much to write home about. If I show you guys in the distance the smoke of the chimneys, it is blowing towards us on an angle. Now 2 Delta A330s, and after that a 747 from KLM. First one is a Neo. Hey Lance, good morning. Happy Ascension Day. Good to see you again, mate. Delta Airlines flight 57 is what we are looking at right now. It is an A330-900 outbound to Salt Lake City. Brand new, first flight last November. Well, Lance, as it happens, the waterbirds are a bit further out. We did have Donald over here on the other side on one of the sewage exits. The only aqua bird we see at the moment is this coot. Donald and his relatives are further out, more to the north side of the runway, I think. Over here, A330-300 outbound to Detroit. The airplane is 15 years old, first flight August 2007. Now, preceding this A330-300 we had the Neo. Do tell me, which one do you like best in terms of aesthetics, in terms of sound? I think I like the aesthetics of the Neo better and the sound of the 300 better. But what about you guys? Alright, next up, Boeing 737 800 KLM flight 1009 outbound to London Heathrow. This airplane, 22 years old, first flight November 2000. Rick says the Neo, all for me. J-Bell says A330. Dirk says any engine that cuts down the noise sounds better. Do you mean more quiet in general? Because in that case, I don't know if I agree with that. I do like loud engines. Right. Was looking behind me, I was hearing some bird noises. I was wondering if that was Mr. or Mrs. Coot. There are now two of them. One of them going under, a reaction not uncommon for the birds when I point my camera towards them. They do seem to be a bit camera shy. SAS CRJ 900 outbound to Copenhagen, this one. I agree, Francis. Screaming, growling engines anytime. I think I perfectly agree with that. Yeah, and there, that is the thing with the Polderbaan. When the destination is nearby, they do sometimes spend more time taxiing almost than actually flying. And it was even worse when 36 Center was still closed. Good morning, Christian. Herzlich willkommen. Checking in from München. Hopefully you guys are having better weather, or at least warmer weather than we have over here. Lined up, BA Flight 429, Speedbird on its way to London Heathrow. This airplane, 18 years old, first flight October 2004. Now have all three Air Baltic airplanes already taken off this morning, because as I was saying before, I did recall having seen that one of them was the Latvian flag special livery. And I'm thinking maybe the other one then departed. If they did already take off, then perhaps the other one took off from 36 Center. Which is a shame, because I really looked forward to seeing that airplane once again. With the white and red. And Gillian Pi asks, ben je Nederlands? I am. So we are now looking at TUI flight 361, a Dreamliner Boeing 7878, the smallest of the family, going to Curaçao, Willemstad. Now taxiing to the runway threshold. The Dreamliner we are looking at, 8 years old, had its first flight in March 2015. Looks like there is another Dreamliner 10 coming this way as well. KLM flight 601 outbound to LAX. And indeed, Rick, tempting to hop on that plane. While in the vicinity, maybe even hop onto an airplane to Sint Maarten as well, do some spotting over there. Hey there MK, good morning, checking in from Krakow in Poland. Welcome to the stream, hope you're doing well. All other viewers who have in the meantime joined us, good morning or good afternoon, whatever the time is at the location you are looking at. Welcome to AMS Live, my name is Boy. You're looking at Polderpan departures. At the beginning of the stream, this was the only runway in use for departures. Now, I think we still have parallel departures taking place. Let me double check that. Yeah, it seems that 36C is also still being used for departures. It is Ascension Day and we are looking at airplane ascensions to the sky. The next airplane to come this way is a Dreamliner Boeing 787-10 KLM flight 601 outbound to LAX. So what is it, in 10 or 11 hours or so from now, you can probably see its arrival on LAX on one of the LAX based live streams over there. Here you can see its departure in a few minutes. The Boeing 787-10 we are now looking at is brand new according to flight radar. Had its first flight in June 2022. There's also a 777 to Johannesburg on the move. Now I'm not sure if we're going to see it come over here. There is, however, a Delta A330-300 to Atlanta underway. As the Dreamliner is taxiing to the runway threshold. Let's just see if we can also pick up the Delta A330. In fact, there are two A330s from Delta coming this way, two A330-300s. The first one being Delta Airlines Flight 73, outbound to Atlanta. The second one is going to Portland, Delta Airlines Flight 179. For those of you unfamiliar with Schiphol Airport, it is, I think, one of Delta's, isn't it the European hub of Delta? Delta flies an awful lot on Amsterdam, so if you didn't know better, you would be thinking this was a US-based airfield by the immense amount of Delta airlines that you see over here. And this is KLM Flight 601, 787-10 Dreamliner outbound to LAX. Alright, I think I hear the 777 to Johannesburg spool up on 36 center. And there it is on its departure, on its way to Johannesburg, South Africa. Meanwhile, the first of the two Delta A330 is taxiing to the runway threshold, while in the background we can see the second one entering the taxiway to the Polderbaan. For those of you unfamiliar with the layout of Schiphol Airport, the Polderbaan runway 36 left, 18 right is the newest addition to the runway network of Schiphol Airport. Was taken in use in 2003, so it's 20 years old now. It is the furthest removed from the main platform area. The tower you see in the distance is the main tower of the main platform area, but since this runway is so far removed from the main platform area, this runway has its dedicated ATC control tower located over here. There's also a fire station dedicated for this runway over here. windsock in the foreground, showing you a bit of the wind that is currently blowing. Meanwhile, the A330 is pulling up, so time to go back to the runway threshold. Okay, no gear problems for this A330. Always exciting to see if the Delta A330s are going to have any difficulties with gears or whatever. Not this one. This is Delta Airlines flight 179 outbound to Portland. This airplane is 19 years old, had its first flight in March 2004. Looking further out, there is a 737-900 coming this way from KLM, going to Manchester. Hey, and I see that Marissa is back again. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Now the 737 is still too far out to cut in line and go before the A330, so let's turn around to the runway threshold, because I think the Delta is going to take off almost immediately. Indeed, more or less a rolling start, a turn and burn. Now let's have a look. Still awfully quiet over there. This fenced area is the parking place of the Spottersplaats, the official Spottersplaats of the Polderbaan. Also looking to the cycling path on the other side of the parking place. Still very quiet. Seems I still have the place to myself. And the 737 ready to hop onto the runway. KLM flight 1073, Boeing 737-900, outbound to Manchester, United Kingdom. She's 19 years old, first flight April 2004. Alright, Rick says that there's a Delta A350 visible on flight radar. That is great news. In the meantime, there's also a berth controller. Aborting any bird strikes. Now before the A350 we are going to see yet another Airbus A330 from Delta. Delta flight 161. Hey, and Cathay Pacific A350 1000, the biggest of the bunch, awesome. Hopefully it's going to come this way. If it is going to Southeast Asia, there is a chance. Yeah, they will go to 36, but will they go to center or to left? That is the question. Fingers crossed it's going to come to this one. And Sander, I definitely said berth controller. Right, A330, 300, going to Minneapolis. Okay, Marissa informing us that the Cathay Pacific will not be departing for some time. That happens quite frequently, that the transponder already goes on, but then the airplane is going nowhere for a long time. Okay, so the A330 is now holding short well before the entrance to the runway. I'm looking behind me. Is there a runway check going on or anything? I don't see the bird control vehicle on the runway. It is on this side of the runway. And the A330 is continuing its taxi to the runway threshold. The bird control vehicle, at least if that is the bird control vehicle, hard for me to see. Let me have a look on my laptop screen. Oh no, I think that's a different vehicle. It's not even the bird controller. Now, in the meantime, there is an SAS Neo also coming this way, but not to the entrance over here. Also going to the runway threshold. Right, so this is Delta Airlines. A330-300 to Minneapolis. This airplane, 19 years old, first flight February 2004. Okay, and the gear also seems to be retracting. So no issues there. In the meantime, for those of you joining just now, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside the Polderbaan, runway 36 left, currently one of the two runways in use for departures. The airplanes take off in northerly direction. The prevailing wind is blowing on average from the east. not too hard, a bit of crosswind from the right for the airplanes taking off. Currently it is approximately 10 degrees centigrade or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is trying to do its best to get out from behind the clouds, but it is still mostly cloudy over here. No precipitation in the weather forecast for today or the upcoming weekend. I think maybe on Sunday the first rain showers, local rain showers, might start falling again. Looking at what is on the runway threshold right now is SAS flight 822. It is an A320neo outbound to Oslo in Norway. This is a brand new airplane, and really brand new. First flight was in February of this year, so it's only 3 months old. In the meantime, Marissa is informing us that there is a 777 from China Southern Cargo that is going to come this way. That is excellent news. Let me have a look. Dirk says that the live stream is stuttering every now and then. Are other people experiencing that as well? Let me have a look. I think everything is working on my end. Although now that you mention it, now everything here seems to be working fine. I do remember that I forgot to up my 10 gigabytes. Now we're streaming 2 hours and 44 minutes, so I am still under the I'm still within my limit, but let me quickly go to my KPN app and increase my daily allowance. I do have an unlimited data bundle, but the standard allowance is 10 gigabytes and you have to manually upgrade in 2 gigabyte increments, which you can do unlimited, of course, but yeah, already at 8 gigabytes at the moment. So let me take this moment to upgrade. Okay. That is 2 gigabytes. That is 4 gigabytes. That should be 6 more gigabytes added to my daily allowance. Well, if people are having hiccups with their stream, everything on my end seems to be working perfectly fine. Everything is stably working. But I did recall that when people had a stuttering live stream, that refreshing the stream typically got rid of the problem they were experiencing. But it was a good reminder for me to at least up my data bundle so that at least the stream will not end prematurely and unexpectedly because I ran through my 10 gigabytes, as happened not too long ago. We should be good now. At the moment, Norwegian 737 MAX 8 taking off. Indeed, Peter, that was a turn and burn. Dennis says, all great here with the stream. Great to hear. Hey Ina, herzlich willkommen, guten Morgen. Welcome on this Ascension Day Essentials, Essential Ascensions. Alright, so big birds are coming this way, but before they arrive there are a few small birds taking off first. First one being this A320 from EasyJet, going to Birmingham. The airplane is 7 years old, first flight February 2016. Let's quickly turn around. Yeah, they still have some room for another grumpy face on the tails of their airplanes, Rick. Not sure if my face is grumpy enough to be put on the tails of their airplanes, but we can always try and reach out to them. Embraer 190 KLM flight 1343 outbound to Billund. This airplane 14 years old. Hey, morning David, good to see you again, hope you're doing well. Over here, I'm not trying to jinx it, but it does seem that the sun is starting to come out a bit more. About time. Could do with a bit of warmth. Has been quite chilly so far, particularly with the wind now picking up. Okay, so as Marissa is already mentioning, there are some nice heavies coming this way now. First up is going to be Delta Airlines Flight 47, Airbus A330-300 outbound to New York JFK. Number 2 is going to be China Southern Cargo Flight 496. That is a 777 freighter that is going to fly to Shanghai. Visible in the middle of the screen in the background. Number 3 is probably going to be United Airlines Flight 908, Dreamliner 7878, outbound to Chicago O'Hare. Then a 737 from KLM. And there's also an American Airlines Dreamliner to Philly underway. I see a 777 from Qatar to Doha. Also on the move, also going to come this way. So there is absolutely no reason to tune out from the stream yet. I think in the next half hour we are going to see a few nice heavies, maybe some more. At the moment that seems to be most of it. Oh no, Air Europa to Madrid, also another Dreamliner. Right, Let's pan to the right towards the runway threshold where Delta Airlines Flight 47 is approaching the runway threshold. It is an A330-300, 19 years old. First flight March 2004, outbound for New York JFK. And folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. It greatly helps me to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this, and it also enables you the possibility to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, you get notified, and if you have the time for it, can join us for more action over here at Schiphol Airport. Delta Airlines Flight 47 to New York JFK, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's quickly turn around the camera back to the runway threshold because the 777 to Shanghai is already lined up and ready to go at a moment's notice. This is China Southern Cargo Flight 496 outbound to Shanghai. This airplane, 11 years old, first flight December 2011. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Tuning in from Tenerife, where it's probably a lot sunnier than it is over here. Enjoy your holiday, friend. Awesome to see you tune in from your holiday destination as well. Ascensions on Ascension Day, ladies and gentlemen, and the first ascension to take place next is from United Airlines. United Airlines Flight 908, Boeing 7878 Dreamliner outbound to Chicago O'Hare. This airplane is 9 years old, first flight February 2014. Now there's quite a line forming at the moment. Airplanes arriving from the distance, and here they are starting to queue up. So this is going to get a little bit busy. Lined up at the threshold, KLM flight 1109, outbound to Stockholm. This airplane 11 years old, first flight May 2011. Skipping the line, another flight to Stockholm, SAS flight 556, CRJ 900, 5 years old, first flight June 2017. And here we have Speedbird 2825, British Airways A321, outbound to London Gatwick. This A321 is 15 years old, had its first flight in October 2007. American Airlines Flight 202, Boeing 7878, outbound to Philadelphia. This airplane is 7 years old, had its first flight in October 2015. Hey Kampask, good morning. Happy Ascension Day, welcome back. Good to see you again, hope you're well. Now Owen Air is saying that there is a Cargolux 747 pushback going on. That's great. Let's see, next up is first the 777 from Qatar to Doha. 777 freighter outbound to Doha. This airplane 8 years old, first flight February 2015. Hey Jorn, goedemorgen. Angelo Castro, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to all other viewers who have joined us in the meantime as well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan. Currently the only runway in use for departures, and we are a bit heavy on the heavies at the moment. It is a bit busy. Air Europa outbound to Madrid. Dreamliner 7879. Taking off next. 4 years old. First flight April 2019. Lined up at the threshold is Sun Express flight 947, Boeing 737-800 outbound to Konya. This airplane is 6 years old, first flight March 2017. Hey Marcus, guten Morgen. Well, the poor ducks plants have already gone, and I think after the first couple of queens they already took off to more quieter destinations. Although you would think that they are by now used to all the rumbling and all the engine noises. Now, another CRJ looking to come in a few moments from the left, entering on the entrance where I'm standing in line with. Question is when will it skip the line? Not yet. I've had a look. It is still waiting with its lights out. Traffic at the threshold will go first. Lined up at the moment, Air France op flight 1807 outbound to Marseille. 13-year-old airplane, first flight June 2009. Up. Now the CRJ is moving. Lufthansa flight 2303 CRJ 900 outbound to Munich. This airplane is 14 years old, first flight March 2009. And according to Michael, these airplanes, these CRJs, are almost like fighters, so maneuverable. That sounds like really fun to fly indeed. Too bad that in commercial aviation you're not allowed to do loops and rolls and stuff like that, because you would probably be able to just as well with these types of airplanes. Oh dear. Replace them with Embraers. Everything gets replaced with Embraers these days. Nothing against Embraers, but a bit of variation in the airplane types available these days would be nice. Half the stream is already filled with these Embraers these days. Anyway. Hey there Amy, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody is doing well on this Ascension day, where here we have an E2 Embraer 195 going to Geneva. Alright, seems that we have a bit of a break over here. In the meantime, this scoot is chilling in the water, having a little dive. The relative is nibbling on some grass by the looks of it. A YouTube fan says that the Cargolux 747 is going to runway 36C. That is bad news. There are other big birds underway. A350, A330, 777. Let's see what comes our way. Also a good moment to do a little bit of rehydrating. Wasn't that Cargolux 747 also a special livery? Thought I saw that yesterday. Or is that a different one scheduled to depart later? There was one that was a special livery, if I recall correctly. Okay, so this Cargolux is just a Cargolux Italia. Alright. Still a pity that we don't get to see it. Or at least not from up close. Turkish A330 will also take off from 36 Center. I'm afraid that the A350 to Singapore will also probably depart from 36 Center then. Yeah, exactly. Bummer. So coming this way is an A330 from Delta Airlines, flight 143, outbound to Seattle. That's number one. Behind it is a 777-200 from United, I think. United Airlines flight 21, outbound to Houston, Texas. There goes the Cargolux. in the clouds, it has gone, unfortunately. The United Triple making its way over to the runway threshold, where the A330 is currently arriving. Delta Airlines A330 outbound Seattle. This airplane is 15 years old, had its first flight in August 2007. The gear is retracting, so no issues there. And thanks for the comment, Amy. It's the best I can do from over here. Lined up at the threshold, United Airlines flight 21, 777-200 outbound to Houston, Texas. It is a 200 ER, 24 years old already. First flight February 1999. And indeed, Rick, awesome sound. The tune of the GE90s cannot be beaten by any other engines as far as I'm concerned. Now, for those of you tuning in later, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside the Polderbaan where currently departures take place, as are on runway 36 center, so it is parallel departures at the moment. Once again, depending on how busy it gets, 36 center also opens temporarily as a secondary runway for departures. Throughout the entire morning, 36 left has been in use. At the moment, wind is blowing from the east, northeast probably. Not too hard. There is a little bit of crosswind from the right for the pilots taking off on this runway. They are taking off to the north. And another Embraer to London City. Embraer 190. British Airways flight 8452, operated by BA City Flyer. This particular airplane, 14 years old, first flight January 2009. Well, in that case, it's a good thing, Christian, that the Tupolev would not fly to Schiphol. Just bought a new microphone, don't want to have to buy another one already. But yeah, those Tupolevs, they do make a lot of noise. Now, in the meantime, Singapore A350 taking off from 36 Center, or has just taken off, on its way to Singapore. Still a magnificently airplane to look at, those A350s. As far as I'm concerned, they should do curved winglets on all airplane types from now on. Looks much more elegant than those angled ones, those straight angled ones. And over here the Embraer 190 takes to the skies. Off to London City. Hey there, Lucas-san. Good morning from Brazil. Jan Hendricks, goedemorgen. Is het nog morgen? Ja, still morning. Just about. Hope everybody is doing well. Now, we're waiting for the next airplane to come this way, which is going to be Delta Airlines flight 259 A330-300 outbound to Boston. Also having a look to see what more is underway. A320neo is lining up on 36 Center. As we are awaiting the A330, Mr. and Mrs. Koot. Nibbling on some stuff. Where's the other one? Over here. Now the ducks are a bit further out. I think they're over here, over there. No more birds in the water on this side of the canal. The Delta A330 almost at the runway threshold. So this is Delta Airlines flight 259 outbound to Boston, A330-300. The airplane is 7 years old, first flight April 2016. I think you're right, Rick. I think it is a lunch break at Schiphol at the moment. Things have quieted down a little bit. Let's have a look and see how... Ah, seagull in the foreground. Where is it? Yeah, that's a seagull. Still looks to be relatively quiet over at the parking place of the Spottersplaats. Although I do see some more people on the move over there along the cycling path. Could enable digital zoom. .400 times power zoom. Have a look on the what's going on the cycling path on the other side of the runway. George, good morning. H-Man, good day. Okay, 747 Cargolux on the way, H-Man says. Ah, okay, the Cargolux cutaway livery. So that's the special livery that is expected to depart around 2 p.m. So this is the parking lot of the Spottersplaats, the official Spottersplaats. There is a camper, but oh wait. Yeah, that's the chips joint where you can buy your French fries. Oerfried, you can even read it. So things are still legible if you do apply a little bit of digital zoom and not too much. Let's then have a look in the control tower while we're here. So this is the control tower of the Polderwaan. Yeah, and those Dixies are a bit smelly, aren't they, Rick? If you have to go, it's better that they are there, that you at least can go on one of those Dixies than having to go in public. Now the upside is that there isn't a lot of wind. If I don't touch my tripod, there's even a somewhat stable footage. Wouldn't it be fun if they also were watching AMS live right now and are thinking, hey, that's us? But apparently they are busy doing other stuff. Alright, so there's an Embraer coming this way. It seems that it has otherwise quieted down a little bit. Now unfortunately, Wendy, I'm not going to stay around until the departure of the cutaway liveried Cargolux. It is scheduled to take off around 2 o'clock or so and only just landed, so looking at how busy it is at the moment, or how, better yet, how quiet it has become. I'm thinking how long I'm going to stick around for. I think I might wrap up after the departure of this Embraer. Not only because it has quieted down, but also because my hands are getting a little bit stiff and I am starting to get a little bit cold. It has been a great show so far. I am definitely looking to go out again on the next couple of upcoming days. Nah, and I'm sure that at quiet moments they can do something else. Play video games, order takeaway, do some bird spotting, maybe a crossword puzzle. Take a leak, exactly. I'm sure they have proper toilets instead of Dixies. Now folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up after this airplane has taken off. It's been a great show so far, but it is quieting down and I am starting to get a little cold. I do intend to go out again tomorrow and in the upcoming days. Even use a little bit of digital zoom on top of the optical zoom. If I'm not shaking too much myself and the wind is not blowing too hard, you can even apply a little bit of digital zoom on top of the optical zoom. Zooming all the way in. Meanwhile, K3 comes to say goodbye. And Marissa has been a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge for a month. Let's not forget to celebrate that. Ascension Day and Marissa, their first month birthday on the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you for your support, Marissa. And I wanna say thank you to each and every one of you for joining me here today. It's been a great stream. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I am going to wrap it up for now. I'm looking to go out again tomorrow and Saturday too. Sunday I don't know for sure yet. I do like also having a day off every now and then, and if the weather is really nice then maybe I might go do other stuff. I am looking to go out again on Monday. If you guys enjoyed what you have been seeing and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this, and it also allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live again, you get notified, and if you have the time for it and are feeling like it, can join us for more live streaming action over here from Schiphol Airport. For now, I want to wish each and every one of you a very pleasant Ascension Day. Take care. And I hope to see you again on the next stream soon. For now, I'm gonna say goodbye and hope to see you all again in the next one. Bye bye!